Anna, I think we got everything we need.
Yes! Let's go have some fun! This is nice. A perfect way to end the day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Over Tea, Listen and Speak. I'm your host, Anna, and as always, sitting right across the table from me with a very suspiciously large mug is my co-host, Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Anna, and hi, everyone listening. And full disclosure, my mug is actually full of black coffee today, not tea. I know, it's a complete betrayal to the podcast name.
I literally cannot believe you. On English Over Tea? Really? We're gonna have to rename the show just for you.
Look, I'm sorry. I really needed the extra caffeine today. I had let's just call it a really rough morning in the kitchen.
Oh no, wait, why? What did you try to cook this time? Because listeners, if you don't know this about Dan, he is not exactly a master chef.
Hey, I'm getting better. But okay, yeah, this morning was a disaster. So I wanted to do something nice, right? I wanted to surprise my wife with breakfast in bed. You know, a classic American breakfast. Pancakes, bacon, the works.
Aw, that's actually really sweet. What went wrong? Did you burn them?
I wish I just burned them. No, they looked beautiful. Golden brown, perfectly fluffy. I brought the plate into the bedroom, poured the maple syrup on top. We both take this huge, exciting first bite at the exact same time. And? Anna, I used salt instead of sugar in the batter.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yes, like half a cup of salt. I keep my sugar and my salt in these matching glass jars on the counter, and I grabbed the wrong one. It was the most disgusting thing I have ever tasted in my entire life. My wife literally spit it out into a napkin.
Oh, that is terrible. Half a cup of salt? That's practically ocean water in a pancake.
Exactly. So yeah, we ended up just eating plain toast, and I had to make a giant pot of coffee to wash the salty taste out of my mouth. Hence the coffee mug today.
Wow. Well, honestly, that is the perfect, hilarious transition into what we are actually talking about today. Because today, guys, we are talking all about food. Specifically, how to talk about your favorite food in English. If you're new, subscribe so you don't miss our daily episodes.
Yes, much better than salty pancakes. Talking about food is like my favorite thing to do.
Same here. And you know, for all of our English learners listening right now, learning how to talk about food is so important. It is the absolute best icebreaker.
Oh, totally. An icebreaker, by the way, is a topic you use to start a conversation with someone new.
Right, because everybody eats. If you are at a party or a networking event or just meeting a new friend, asking, "What's your favorite food?" is so natural. It instantly gets people talking and, smiling.
Exactly. So let's jump right in. Anna, I'll ask you first. Or wait, actually, let me answer first so I can redeem myself from the pancake story.
Okay, go ahead. Dan, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what is your absolute favorite food?
Oh man, it's gotta be pizza, hands down.
Pizza? Really? That's so classic, but it's a good choice.
It is the perfect food. Think about it. You've got the warm, crispy bread, the crust. Then you have this rich, sweet, and savory tomato sauce. And then the cheese, the gooey, melted mozzarella cheese.
Okay, you're making me hungry now. But what kind of pizza? Like a simple cheese pizza, or do you load it up with toppings?
I like a little bit of everything, but my absolute go-to is pepperoni. Just a classic American pepperoni pizza.
The pepperoni gets a little bit crispy on the edges in the oven. Oh, it's so good. But I also really like mushrooms and black olives. What about you? Are you a pizza fan?
I mean, obviously I like pizza. Who doesn't? But if we are talking about my ultimate favorite food, it has to be a classic cheeseburger.
Oh, nice. A burger is a solid choice, but what makes it your favorite?
I think it's just the combination of all the different textures, you know? You bite into it and the bun is really soft and slightly toasted. Then the burger patty is warm and juicy. And then you have the crunch from the fresh lettuce, the cold tomatoes, and the pickles.
You have to have pickles. If there are no pickles, it's not a real burger.
Exactly. The pickles give it that sort of tangy, sour flavor that cuts through the richness of the cheese and the meat. And of course, you can't have a burger without a side of French fries.
Oh, definitely. Crispy fries with lots of ketchup.
See? Now my stomach is actually growling.
Mine too. But it's funny. When you describe food, you use all these great adjectives. You said juicy, crispy, tangy. I think that's something a lot of beginners struggle with. They know the word burger, but maybe they don't know how to describe why they like it.
That is such a good point, Dan. When you are learning English, it's easy to just say, I like pizza because it is good. But adding descriptive words, adjectives, makes the conversation so much more interesting.
Yeah, like saying it is spicy instead of just it is good. Speaking of spicy, do you like spicy food, Anna? Because I know some people absolutely hate it.
Oh, I actually love spicy food. Like, I am that person who asks for the extra hot sauce at the restaurant.
Really? Wow, I had no idea. See, I'm the exact opposite. I have almost zero tolerance for spicy stuff. Like, if I eat a single slice of jalapeno, I am sweating, my eyes are watering. It's not pretty.
Come on, it's not that bad. It just gives the food a little kick, you know? Like a really good Mexican taco just needs that heat.
Okay, wait. Tacos are amazing. I agree with you there. But I have to order them mild.
Mild is a great word for our listeners to know. If you don't like spicy food, you can always ask for mild. It means it has a lot of flavor, but it won't burn your mouth.
Exactly. Mild is my safe zone. I learned my lesson the hard way a few years ago. I'll never forget this one time. My friends and I went to this really authentic Thai restaurant downtown. And, well, I wanted to look cool, like I was a tough guy who could handle anything.
Oh no, Dan, I can see where this is going. Why would you do that?
It was pure peer pressure. So when the waiter asked how spicy I wanted my noodles on a scale of 1 to 5, I confidently looked at him and said, "Give me a 4."
A 4 in a Thai restaurant?
Yes. Honestly, I thought, how bad could it be? Well, let me tell you, I took one single bite and I felt like a dragon breathing fire. My face instantly turned bright red. I drank my entire glass of water in about 3 seconds, and then I drank my friend's water too.
Oh my gosh, I bet the waiter was just watching you, shaking his head.
He definitely was. I couldn't even finish the meal. I had to order a side of plain white rice just to cool my mouth down. Since that day, I always order mild.
That is hilarious. But, it's not about the pain for people who like spice, I promise. It's about the flavor. When you have a spicy dish, the heat kind of wakes up your taste buds.
Wakes up your taste buds. That's a good phrase. Taste buds are those tiny little bumps on your tongue that let you actually taste the food, right?
Yep, and we have a bunch of different types of tastes. We talked about spicy, and earlier with your unfortunate pancake disaster.
Hey, let's just forget about the pancakes, okay?
Okay, moving on. But we talked about salty earlier, and the opposite of salty, or at least the one we usually compare it to, is sweet.
Yes, now you're speaking my language. I have a massive sweet tooth.
Me too. And for anyone listening, having a sweet tooth is a really fun, common idiom. It just means you really, really love eating sweet things. Candy, cakes, chocolate.
Which brings us to the most important part of any meal, obviously, dessert.
Oh, absolutely. You can be completely full from dinner. Like, you can't eat another bite of vegetables, but there's always a separate stomach for dessert.
It's a scientific fact. So, what's your favorite sweet food if you had to pick one dessert?
Ooh, that's tough. I think it has to be a warm chocolate chip cookie.
Like right out of the oven.
Oh, man, yeah, where the chocolate is still all gooey and melted.
Yes, and you have to pair it with a cold glass of milk. You dip the cookie in the milk, it's just heaven. What about you?
See, I'm a huge fan of ice cream, especially during the summer, but not just plain vanilla. I like the crazy flavors.
Like what? What's a crazy flavor to you?
Well, my absolute favorite is probably mint chocolate chip.
Mint chocolate chip. Dan, no, that tastes like toothpaste.
What? No, it does not. It's refreshing. It's cool, it's minty, and then you get the little crunch of the chocolate chips. It's the perfect combination.
I strongly disagree. Mint is for chewing gum and brushing your teeth. It does not belong in ice cream.
Wow, okay. We are going to have to agree to disagree on that one. It is delicious, but this brings up another really useful word. When you don't like the taste of something, how do you describe it?
Well, you said my mint chocolate chip tastes like toothpaste, but generally, if something food just tastes bad, you can say it's disgusting or gross.
Or bland. Bland is a really common adjective.
Yes, bland is when food has absolutely no flavor. Like if you boil a potato and you don't put any butter or salt or pepper on it. It's just boring. It's bland.
Right. Or if something is old and sitting out too long, especially bread or crackers, we say it gets stale.
Oh, stale bread is the worst. It gets hard and chewy in a really bad way.
So we've got savory, salty, sweet, spicy, mild, bland, stale. There's so many ways to talk about how food tastes.
And there's also sour and bitter.
Oh yeah, sour, like biting into a raw lemon.
Exactly. But sometimes sour is good, like in lemonade or those sour gummy candies. It makes your lips pucker up.
And bitter is like black coffee, the stuff I'm drinking right now to survive. Some people hate it, but I actually really like a slightly bitter taste in the morning.
Yeah, dark chocolate is bitter too. It's definitely an acquired taste.
An acquired taste. That's a fantastic phrase for our listeners to write down. If something is an acquired taste, it means you probably don't like it the first time you try it, but over time you learn to enjoy it, like coffee or, I don't know, olives.
Right. I hated olives when I was a kid. Now I put them on everything. Salads, pizzas.
See? People change.
It's so true. I mean, thinking back to when I was a kid, I used to be such a picky eater. Do you know that word, Anna? Picky?
Oh, absolutely. A picky eater is someone who only likes a very small number of foods and refuses to try anything new. Usually it's kids who don't want to eat their vegetables. Were you one of those no broccoli allowed kids?
I was the king of picky eaters. If it was green, I didn't want it near my plate. My poor mom. She used to have to hide spinach inside of fruit smoothies just so I would get some vitamins. I honestly thought I was just drinking a green monster drink. I had no idea it was actually healthy.
That is a classic mom move. My mom used to do something similar with carrots. She'd mash them up and hide them in the mashed potatoes. I think most parents become experts at food deception at some point.
Totally. But now, as an adult, I find myself actually, well, craving those things. Like, I'll be sitting at work and think, man, I could really go for a giant kale salad right now. If my 10-year-old self could see me now, he'd be horrified.
Craving. That's such a good word for our listeners. A craving is when you have a really strong desire for a specific type of food. Like, I have a craving for chocolate, or I'm craving sushi. It's almost like your body is demanding it.
Exactly. And usually when I'm stressed, my cravings go straight to comfort food.
Ooh, let's talk about that. Comfort food is a big concept in American culture. It's the food you eat when you're tired or sad or just want to feel, well, comfortable. It's usually not the healthiest food, right? It's often warm, heavy, and full of carbs.
Yeah, exactly. It's the hug of the food world. For me, the ultimate comfort food has to be grilled cheese and tomato soup. It's such a classic American combo. You get the bread, you butter it, lots of butter. You put a couple of slices of American cheese in the middle and you fry it until it's perfectly golden and the cheese is just oozing out the sides.
Stop. You're making me want to end the podcast right now and go to the kitchen. And then you dip the sandwich into the soup, right?
You have to dip it. The creamy tomato soup with the crunchy, cheesy bread, it's basically perfection. What about you, Anna? What's your I've had a long day and I need a win meal?
Honestly, it's macaroni and cheese, but not the fancy kind you get at a restaurant with like truffle oil and breadcrumbs. I mean the stuff from the box, the one with the bright orange cheese powder.
Oh, I know the one. The classic.
There is just something about it. It's nostalgic. It reminds me of being a kid. It's easy to make, it's warm, and it's just comforting. I think nostalgia is a big part of why we love certain foods. We associate them with happy memories.
I think you're right. It's not just about the taste, it's about how it makes you feel. But, speaking of easy to make, are you much of a cook or do you prefer to eat out?
I'd say I'm a weekend cook. During the week, I'm usually so busy that I rely on takeout or delivery.
Takeout and delivery. Those are two terms that people use interchangeably, but they are a little different, right?
Yeah, slightly. Takeout is when you call the restaurant, order your food, and then you actually drive there to pick it up and bring it home. Delivery is when the food comes to you, like using an app on your phone and a driver drops it off at your front door.
I am definitely a delivery person on Tuesdays. For some reason, Tuesday is my I don't want to look at a stove day.
I get that. But on the weekends, I actually really enjoy cooking. I find it kind of relaxing. I love going to the grocery store, picking out fresh ingredients, following a new recipe.
See, I want to be that person. I really do. But every time I try to follow a recipe, something goes sideways. Remember the salt pancakes from this morning? That was me trying to be a weekend cook.
True. But maybe you just need to start simpler. Like, don't try to make a 3-course meal. Just start with, I don't know, a really good pasta.
You'd think so, right? But I once tried to make a simple spaghetti aglio and olio, just garlic and oil, and I managed to set the garlic on fire.
You set the garlic on fire? How do you even do that?
I walked away. I thought, I'll just go check the mail while the oil heats up. I came back 2 minutes later and the kitchen was full of smoke. My wife was like, Dan, what is happening? It was so embarrassing. The garlic wasn't just burnt. It was charcoal.
Oh, Dan. Rule number 1 of cooking, never walk away from the stove, especially when you're frying something.
I know. I learned my lesson. Now, if I'm in the kitchen, I stay within 2 feet of the stove at all times. I don't even blink.
That might be a bit much, but it's okay if you're not a great cook. That's why we have restaurants. And actually, speaking of restaurants, that's another great thing for learners to practice. Ordering food in English can be a little intimidating, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. Especially when the waiter is moving fast and the restaurant is loud. You're trying to remember the word for napkin or how to ask for the bill. It can be a lot of pressure.
It really can, but I think the most important thing is just to keep it simple. You don't need perfect grammar to get a delicious meal.
Exactly. As long as you can say please and thank you and point to what you want, you're usually good to go. But it is fun to learn the specific phrases like, can I get this to go? Or can we split the check?
Split the check, that's a good one. It means everyone pays for their own meal instead of one person paying for everyone.
Very important if you're out with a big group of friends. Or if I'm feeling generous, which is rare, just kidding, I might say, it's on me, which means I will pay for the whole thing.
It's on me. I'll have to remember that next time we go out for lunch, Dan.
Wait, what did I just get myself into?
Too late, you said it.
Oh boy, I really need to watch what I say on this show. But seriously, food is just such a great way to connect with people. Even if you're just talking about a failed pancake or a burnt garlic disaster, it gets people laughing.
It really does. It's a universal language. No matter where you are in the world, people love to sit down, share a meal, and talk about what they're eating. It's one of the best parts of being human.
You know, Anna, we've talked about all these delicious things, pizza, burgers, cookies, but I feel like we're ignoring a huge part of the food talk world. We should probably mention the healthy stuff, for balance.
You're right. You're right. We can't just live on macaroni and cheese and mint chocolate chip ice cream, even if we want to. For me, I actually really love a good Buddha bowl or a big salad, but it has to have a lot of variety.
A Buddha bowl? That sounds very zen. What exactly is in that?
It's basically just a big bowl filled with a little bit of everything. Usually you have a base of grains like quinoa or brown rice, then you add some protein, maybe chickpeas or grilled chicken, and then just tons of colorful vegetables, sweet potatoes, avocados, spinach, maybe some toasted seeds. It's crunchy and fresh.
Crunchy is a great word. I love crunchy food. That's why I have a serious problem with my guilty pleasure.
Ooh, guilty pleasure. That's another perfect idiom for our listeners. A guilty pleasure is something you enjoy, even though you know it's maybe not the best for you, or maybe it's a little bit embarrassing. So, Dan, what is yours?
Okay, don't judge me, please. My guilty pleasure is potato chips dipped in chocolate spread.
Wait, what? Potato chips and chocolate?
Yes, it's that salty and sweet thing again. You get the salty crunch from the chip and the sweet, creamy chocolate. It's honestly life-changing. You have to try it before you say it's gross.
I don't know, Dan. That sounds like a very Dan snack. I think I'll stick to my dark chocolate. But hey, that's the beauty of food, right? Everyone has their own unique taste.
Exactly. And it's so fun to learn about food from other cultures, too. I mean, here in the States, we have so many influences. I love that I can get authentic sushi for lunch and then have amazing tacos for dinner.
Definitely. Talking about international cuisine is another great way to practice English. You can talk about traditional dishes from your country. For example, if you're from Italy, you might talk about homemade pasta. Or if you're from Japan, you might describe the texture of sashimi.
Homemade is such a warm word. It always makes me think of my grandmother's kitchen.
anything made at home with love always tastes 10 times better than something from a factory.
I totally agree. Well, Dan, I think we have covered a lot of ground today. We should probably give our listeners a quick recap of some of the words we used before we head out to find some lunch.
Good idea. My stomach has been growling for the last 10 minutes.
Okay, so listeners, let's look at some of the key vocabulary from today's episode. First, we had our taste adjectives: salty, sweet, spicy, sour, bitter, and bland.
And don't forget the textures. We used crunchy, crispy, juicy, gooey, and creamy. Those really help you describe why you like a food.
We also talked about some great idioms and phrases. We had a sweet tooth for people who love sugar. We talked about picky eaters, people who are very specific about what they eat.
We mentioned comfort food, those warm meals that make you feel happy. And my favorite, the guilty pleasure.
And finally, we talked about the difference between takeout and delivery and how to split the check or say, "it's on me," when you're at a restaurant.
That is a lot of great English. I hope everyone listening found it helpful and maybe a little bit mouthwatering.
I'm sure they did. So now it's your turn. We want to hear from you. What is your favorite food? Do you have a guilty pleasure like Dan's weird chocolate chips? Or are you a master chef in the kitchen?
Yeah, please let us know. Leave a comment or send us a message. We love reading about your favorite dishes and your own cooking stories, especially if they involve setting things on fire like I did.
Hopefully not. But yes, please share with us. It's a great way to practice your English writing.
Well, Anna, I think it is time. My coffee mug is empty and I am officially starving.
Me too. Let's go get some actual food, not salty pancakes.
Hey, I'm never living that down, am I?
Nope, never. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening to English Over Tea. Listen and speak. We hope you enjoyed this conversation.
If you enjoyed this lesson, make sure to subscribe to English Over Tea, Listen and Speak, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn and grow.
Keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember, learning English is not just about words. It's about unlocking new opportunities, new friends, and new adventures.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Keep practicing, keep eating delicious food, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.